Spurs captain Heung-Min Son has come out and said he is feeling great, but his South Korean boss has come out and said that he wasn't at his best during international duty and he needs protecting. And Postecoglou has just been honoured with a 2024 Global Australian Award. Spurs have had more injuries in the Premier League than any other team so far this season. Reports are stating that Spurs are interested in a Japan international with a release clause of £50 million. They're also interested in a Brighton right-back, a Bournemouth star and a German international defender. And we also hear from Robert Velham, the Spurs women boss, ahead of the North London derby. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start by talking about a number of Tottenham Hotspur players on matchday international duty. On Thursday, Dominic Solanke was an unused sub as England beat Greece 3-0 away in the Nations League. Also on Thursday, Manor Solomon captained Israel as they drew 0-0 away against France in the Nations League. He played the first 72 minutes of the game and had 24 touches in the match. Also on Thursday evening, Vicario and Udogie were on matchday international duty for Italy. They beat Belgium 1-0 away. Vicario was an unused sub. Udogie came off the bench in the 65th minute. He had 12 touches of the ball, passing accuracy 75%. Also on matchday international duty in the early hours of Friday morning, Christian Romero, he was taken off at half-time as Argentina lost 2-1 against Paraguay. Romero is to have tests on his right foot. He is unlikely to feature for his country against Peru on Tuesday evening. Now, also on Thursday, Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-Min Son was on matchday international duty for South Korea as his side beat Kuwait 3-1. After the game, he said, "Thank you to my club Tottenham for taking great interest in my health and protecting me. I am feeling great. I am back to my normal condition and I would like to play at 100% in the next match. Thank you also to my South Korean teammates for the opportunities to score so many goals. It is a huge honour to be mentioned alongside some great names in Korean football. But the most important thing is the win tonight." Now, the manager of South Korea has come out and said this on Heung-Min Son. He is currently struggling with injuries and is in a phase of repeated recovery. He played 90 minutes in the last match for Tottenham, but when I watched him today, he wasn't at his best. I believe we need to continue protecting Heung-Min Son for the future. Now, reports in Australia and in Greece are stating that Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou has just been honoured with a 2024 Global Australian Award for Sport and Sports Administration, recognising his impact on the international stage alongside other distinguished Australians. The awards, organised by Advanced Global Australians, AGA, celebrate Australians who have excelled globally across diverse fields. Now, the Boot Room have just stated that Tottenham are in talks over a potential free transfer swoop for Bayer Leverkusen and Germany international centre-back Jonathan Tah. The defender's current contract is running out at the end of the campaign and clubs outside of Germany are able to discuss a pre-contract from January. The player is valued at £30 million, although it is thought that any interested clubs could land him for less than that in the winter window if Bayer Leverkusen opt to sell rather than losing him for nothing. Reports in Spain are stating that Tottenham Hotspur are plotting a move for Real Sociedad star Takefusa Kubo in 2025. The former Real Madrid star is also on Liverpool's radar, and the 23-year-old Japan international has a £50 million release clause. Court Offside have just reported that Tottenham Hotspur are ready to battle Chelsea for the signing of Bournemouth star Ilya Zabarnyi. Bournemouth will sell Zabarnyi if a bid worth £50 million, the equivalent of 60 million euros, comes in, which will put Spurs on alert. Football transfers have just reported that Spurs are exploring a move for Brighton's Tariq Lamptey. The 24-year-old's contract is ending this season. Brighton may be motivated to sell in January to avoid losing him on a free transfer in the summer. Tottenham's pursuit could also see them fend off interest from Everton, another club considering the right-back. Now, Tottenham Hotspur are top of the table, not the Premier League table, the injury table. According to a report from Sky Sports, Tottenham have had the most injuries this season in the Premier League, 13. Injuries resulting in players missing games. Tottenham 13, Brighton 12, Ipswich 12, Aston Villa 11, Crystal Palace 11, Arsenal 10, Manchester City 10. Now, the Tottenham Hotspur women take on Arsenal women in the Women's Super League on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 1:45pm kickoff. On Friday, I spoke to Spurs women boss Robert Villaham. I asked him, is this his toughest period being Spurs boss, having lost 4 out of the last 5 games in the WSL, and has he been concentrating more defensively in training in these past few weeks, having conceded 16 goals in our past 5 games? This is what he had to say.
Hi Rob, I hope you're well. Just wondered what the mood in the camp is like at the moment, because of course 4 defeats in the last 5 WSL games, and would you say it's probably your toughest run and toughest period as Spurs boss so far?
Yeah, I mean, result-wise, it's not good results, and I think people are, of course, feelings is connected to how you perform result-wise. So I can say here every week that we play some good football or we develop, blah, blah, blah. But yes, it's of course not the easiest every time to just have the great energy. But that's what's so good with this team and this squad and the staff and everybody around it. Because I feel like we're very upset after the game. We have some good talks and then we get back 2 days after and have a reflection. And it's still quite, high roof when we have discussions. So as we say in Sweden, like we can actually have some really good discussions. But from that, we try to find some really good ways forward from that and how we're going to improve. And then we go out on the training field, we train very well, and the energy and the happiness is back again, and then we fight really well, and then you have this strong belief that the next game should be a success, and then we go into that game, and you need to have that every week, no matter if you win or lose, because it's always a new game, it's always a new chance to be better and win games. But we have sports psychologists, we have a strong experiences team, we have technical staff around me as well, we have players with leadership, we have experienced players. Everybody's helping out to make sure we don't go on the road where we just feel like everything is bad. So, you would be surprised if you were around us this week, because the group has been amazing and actually just, focus on this game and look forward to this game. And, I'm really impressed by that, actually.
Well, of course, the emphasis has always been, since your arrival, about the attacking. But when you concede 16 goals in the last 5 WSL games, has more time gone into the defensive side of the game on the training pitch, would you say, in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to have a approach of my identity to be attacking, and Tottenham want to have it, but we don't want to lose games. We don't want to look stupid with big losses. So yes, absolutely, we have more and more focus on the press and how to defend a little bit lower, and also to make sure when we have the ball, where should we risk it more or less, just to make sure we don't give the opponent too many chances. So yeah, we're absolutely focusing quite much on that, especially when we play the top teams. But then you cannot forget about the attacking as well, because like Rachel said, the way we want to play, we cannot lose it just because we need to defend now. So we need to find a balance, and we need to be brave. And we're going to be brave tomorrow as well in the build-up and how we want to play, because you never go from your identity, because then you're lost. I'm never going to go from that, but I need to adapt to make sure we can handle the games. But you will see an attacking team that's going to find a game plan to try to win tomorrow, and hopefully we can score a similar goal like last season, and then I'm going to be very proud.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Cheers.
Charlotte?
Robert Villaham also provided the team news ahead of the North London derby on Saturday against Arsenal. He said Amanda Nilden is back in the squad tomorrow, which is really good. Basically, the only 2 players who are not available is Kit and Matey. Everyone else is able to be in the squad. Spurs women's star Jess Naz has been talking about the North London derby. She has stated it is always an honour to put on that lily white shirt and represent the club in front of our supporters. When you walk out of that tunnel onto such a great pitch, we want to give our absolute best for the fans. We as players are always excited when we get the opportunity to play at the stadium, and obviously to be playing the North London derby here is a great occasion for us, and to have a lot of our supporters around the stands. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Ange Postecoglou being honoured with a 2024 Global Australian Award. Of course, fully deserved. What a journey Ange Postecoglou has been on. He's had a fantastic career, and if you watch this channel on a regular basis or listen to this on an audio platform on a regular basis, you will know I'm fully supportive of Ange Postecoglou at the moment, and I'm hoping that he is backed by the board, backed in every single transfer window, and also backed by the fans. And hopefully he can drive this club forward, because I think he's done a great job so far. I think a lot of people forget what a mess he walked into, and week by week, month by month, I feel like the football club is getting better. It is improving on the pitch, off the pitch. I think there is still a lot of work to do, but it was never ever going to be an easy job to walk into. So many congratulations to Ange Postecoglou, as I say, fully deserved. Heung-Min Son has said he's feeling great, but the South Korean boss has come out and said he wasn't at his best and he needs protecting. Interestingly, the stats that I put out and posted up on social media platforms, he didn't have a successful dribble in the game against Kuwait at all, which is very, very unlike Heung-Min Son. He come out and said he's feeling great. The manager said he wasn't at his best and he needs protecting. I completely agree. I think that someone like Heung-Min Son gives his absolute all the time, and he's absolutely exhausted a lot of the time as well. He comes back to Tottenham, tries to give his absolute all. Of course, he's got a lot of pressure to perform again and again for his country, which he always seems to do. But I do feel like he needs protecting. He's 32 years old now, and I feel like game management is certainly needed with someone like Heung-Min Son, not only at Tottenham, but at international level as well. But as I said on one of the podcasts recently, that ball that he put in for, I think it was Brennan Johnson for the Aston Villa game, absolutely killer ball, fantastic delivery. And I feel like Heung-Min Son is the only one that can do that at Tottenham at the moment, and I feel like he's got so much more to give. Of course, it looks like that Tottenham will be activating this one-year extension in his contract that will take him into contract until the end of the summer 2026, and I'm absolutely delighted with that news, that he's going to be a Spurs player again for next season. But that does need to be looked at, the way that he is protected and doesn't play so many minutes in games. It's all about game management, not only at Tottenham, but South Korea as well. Robert Villaham ahead of the North London derby against Arsenal. This is going to be a good game. Of course, Spurs made history last season, beating Arsenal 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The first time we've ever beaten Arsenal in the WSL. What a day that was. Hoping that can repeat itself again on Saturday afternoon. The Spurs women are not in very good form at the moment. 16 goals conceded in the last 5 games and 4 defeats in the last 5 league games. So let's hope that they can turn that around. Robert Villaham, I think he's a fantastic manager. I think that he has, really brought the club to another level. And, very similar to Ange Postecoglou, I hope that he's going to get the time and the support by the club as well to take the club forward even more and deliver success in the future. Of course, they were very unlucky not to lift the FA Cup last year, going all the way to the final, but then were beaten by Manchester United. But the club is certainly moving forward. They are just going through a pretty tough time at the minute with so many defeats. Spurs are pretty much being linked with everyone at the moment. Of course, the January transfer window is just around the corner. We're in the middle of November now, so Spurs are now being linked with everyone. All I will say on the transfer window is what I said before, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, so I'll be quick. I just hope that the recruitment is the right recruitment, the right players, the players that are going to suit Ange Postecoglou's system. I cannot stress that enough, because in past windows under various different managers, the recruitment hasn't been quite right. we've probably spent money on the wrong players. Tanguy Ndombele, Giovanni Lo Celso, they clearly didn't work out. They are two players that I can, very easily pick out. £100 million on the two of them, and they didn't work out. And I just feel like the recruitment always needs to be absolutely spot on. No room for errors when it comes to recruitment moving forward under Ange Postecoglou. But from now until the end of January, we are going to be linked with every single player under the sun. That is normally the way that these transfer windows work. Personally, I'm hoping that it is going to be a busy window because Ange does need to be supported in this area. And if Spurs want to fight on all fronts, Europa League, League Cup, FA Cup, and of course that top four finish, to have any chance of a top four finish or a good finish in the Premier League, we need to strengthen in the January transfer window, because that brings me on nicely to talk about, how many injuries we've had. Ange Postecoglou has been extremely unlucky as Spurs boss since he arrived, not only last season, but this season also. We're now top of the league table in terms of players' injuries, which is not a good thing. Of course, we need strength in depth in the squad, and this is what these transfer windows are about: improving the team and improving the squad. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs.